Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Administrator, the two cartels that are sending fentanyl into the United States are located in Mexico, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
And isn't it a fact that we could stop those cartels in their tracks if President Lopez Obrador would invite American military and or law enforcement personnel to come into Mexico and work with his military and law enforcement personnel?
Senator, what I would say from my purview as the head of the DEA.
But is my statement true or not?
What I would say is that we're focused on the two cartels who we believe are doing exactly what you say. They are responsible for the fentanyl coming.
Let me ask you again. If President Lopez Obrador invited the American military and or American law enforcement officials to come into Mexico to work with the same in Mexico, we could stop the cartels, could we not?
Senator, I believe this is a whole of government effort and has to be, including whether it's the military, us, FBI,
now,
others.
Madam Administrator, I've listened to you here for almost an hour telling us how bad fentanyl is. Thank you for that, but we know.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you a third time. If President Lopez Obrador invited the American military and or law enforcement personnel to come into Mexico and work with the same in Mexico, we could stop the cartels. Isn't that a fact?
So, Senator, I can speak to the law enforcement side of this, and you just mentioned law enforcement. I believe that this is vital for both Mexico and the United States. Mexicans are dying as well, as we showed in the Chapito.
Well, then why don't we stop them?
So
would it help? Let me ask you a fourth time. Would it help if President Lopez Obrador, I don't think it's a complicated question, Madam Administrator. You're asking us for more money every year, more money, and it gets worse, worse, and worse. You know, in the real world, the nitty-gritty of the real world, when you fail, you get fired. In government, when you fail, you get more money because obviously you need it. Now, let me ask you a fourth time. If President Lopez Obrador, and I'd appreciate an answer, if President Lopez Obrador invited the American military and or law enforcement personnel to come into Mexico and work with his, we could stop the cartels, couldn't we?
I believe, Senator, that we can stop the cartels.
Okay. Have you made that suggestion to President Biden?
If I could, I believe that we can stop the cartels by...
Have you made that suggestion to President Biden?
Senator, I have been very vocal in the whole of government setting on the importance of fentanyl and all of us using every single effort and authority that we have.
Why hasn't President Biden done it? I mean, this is the way the American people whose sons and daughters are dying look at it. Our economy is $23 trillion. Mexico's economy is $1.3 trillion. Ours is 18 times bigger. We buy $400 billion every year from Mexico. Without the people of America, Mexico, figuratively speaking, would be eating cat food out of a can and living in a tent behind an outback. So why don't you and the president, embarrassing no one, get on the phone and call President Lopez Obrador and make him a deal he can't refuse to allow our military and our law enforcement officials to go into Mexico and work with his to stop the cartels? Why don't you do that?
Senator, what I am doing every single day is working with the incredible men and women of DEA who are risking their lives across 334 offices worldwide.
And I appreciate that, but you're not doing what would work. Why won't you do what will work?
Senator, we are...
Why don't you call the president this afternoon and say, Mr. President, let's call President Lopez Obrador privately and make him a deal he can't refuse. Because we both know that President Lopez Obrador has neither the ability nor the will to stop the cartels. But yet we go along and pretend that they're our friends. And Mexico is our friend. But he has criminal organizations that are killing our people. And you know how to stop it. and the president does. And you're not doing it.
Senator, we are working every day to stop it. And
But you're not doing what would stop it.
We are transforming, and we are working in countless ways across the globe to do what needs to be done for the American people. And there is nothing that the
You know,
men and
when
women-
it's important to you, you make it happen. When it's not important to you, you make an excuse.
Thank you. Senator Britt.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Director and Administrator, thank you both for being here today. Director Wray, you have publicly stated that the FBI opens 2 China-related counterintelligence investigations every day. That is a concerning statistic, to say the least. How severe is the threat the United States is facing from the Chinese Communist Party, and to the extent possible, can you characterize the nature of those threats?
So I would say, and I've been saying this since early in my tenure as FBI director, that there is no country that presents a broader, more severe, more comprehensive threat to our economic security, our innovation, and our ideas than the Chinese government, the Chinese Communist Party. And that threat is massive in scale and complicated in the different targets, tools, techniques, and agendas that they have, all of which are ultimately designed to advance the Chinese government at our expense. And it includes everything from cyber, where they have a bigger hacking program than every other major nation combined, to economic espionage and intellectual property theft from businesses ranging from Fortune 100 companies to small startups in Silicon Valley, to everything from big cities to rural. We've had them stealing seeds in agricultural areas, all the way to malign foreign influence, where they are targeting both officials that they're trying to influence and shape in a more pro-Chinese government, Chinese Communist Party direction, but also harassment, stalking, intimidation of dissidents and critics here in the United States, whether they're Chinese Americans or other critics of the regime. So it is a all fronts threat and requires a whole of country response, ranging not just across the intelligence community, not just across law enforcement, but working in partnership with the private sector, with universities, and with our foreign partners, because the same thing they're doing to us, they're doing to all our friends and allies as well. And I find that when I talk to our foreign partners, this is often one of the first topics they want to raise as well. So I think ultimately for us as a country, the solution is to make sure we keep this as a priority and to work in partnership with all those that I just mentioned.
Absolutely. Thank you for your candor and the comprehensive nature of your response. I hope that our leaders across the board will listen to what you just said and wake up. Director Wray, I understand you have visited the FBI Redstone in Huntsville on several occasions. We look forward to welcoming additional FBI employees to Huntsville as construction continues and new facilities are opened. My next question actually has 2 parts. First, how does FBI Redstone fit into the FBI's broader strategic plan for the future? And second, will FBI Redstone provide capacity to foster the professional development and training of your workforce to ensure that FBI has the most highly skilled and innovative and analytical workforce out there?
So this is a subject I get very excited about. I'm really excited about the future at Huntsville. We're on track now to, I think, have 19 different FBI divisions represented there. It's already up to about 1,800 employees. I can easily see it getting to about 3,000. In terms of the future, I think I see a couple things. One, I view it as an innovation hub for the FBI. We've talked a lot already in this hearing about technology and our adversaries' use of the technology and our need to use technology to be ahead of them. And that's where I think the R&D efforts really is one way of shorthanding it, I think would be really concentrated in Huntsville. We're going to have a cyber kinetic range where our cyber agents can train, an innovation hub. So it's both innovation and advanced training. We will always have Quantico as our basic training, all new agents and analysts. but I expect our sort of graduate level training to be at Redstone, and we're on track for that too. The third piece I would mention is we already have a counter IED center of excellence there with TDAC, which is where IEDs from all over the world are sent to do forensics on those IEDs, which then leads to lives saved on the battlefield. So we're looking to grow that as well. And I've been to visit there, as you said, many times, and I'm sure I will visit many more. And every time I'm struck by the buzz and the hum of the activity, and frankly, how excited and enthusiastic all of our people and our partners are there.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much. I would be remiss if I didn't encourage you and the FBI to continue leveraging Huntsville's highly skilled workforce and vast national security industrial base, whether it is network engineering, quantum computing, artificial intelligence, or counter UAS. Huntsville has the experience and stands ready to support the FBI's mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Britt.